Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Years of Code. This is my first video of this channel and it is helpful for the software engineers who want to transition or learn AI and how to use it in a day-to-day work. So if you are a beginner or if you are a fresher or if you are already a software engineer and you want to learn uh, the following AI development, then this video is extremely helpful for you. Here I want to explain about MCP. And what it is and how it is important and what are the important role that it plays in AI when it is integrated with our web application. So basically, if you see the architecture I have mentioned here, this is a simple architecture. I just made it so that everyone can understand it. So if we want a data to be uh, understood by everyone, or if we want a data that can summarize and so that any layman can also be understand, then that's where we need this LLM and MCP server. So previously, if you want a data, then a REST API can play the important role in extracting the data from a data source and presenting it in a JSON or XML format. But now, so if you want data to be analyzed and summarized and give only the summary of context, then we can use this kind of concepts. We can integrate LLM and MCP. So here in the architecture, in a web application that was integrated with LLM can be anything like cloud provided or AWS, Bedrock models, or Azure models, or cloud, or Olama, any other LLM plus MCP client. So here in this web app, we were using MCP client. It can also be called as MCP host. So MCP client is nothing but whatever the MCP server is capable of doing its work. That's what we will be configuring in web app. So that's there is a different term called capabilities, MCP capabilities or tools. So in nothing special about it. It's just a web application which is internally integrated or configured with any one of LLM plus MCP capabilities or MCP tools. Now if any user wants to ask a question, consider a supermarket, and he wants to know what are the bottleneck, or which item stock is low. Now what needs to be done next? So the AI assistant decides it needs a tool. So in the web application we already integrated LLM, so it will decide what are the tools existing for that MCP. And this MCP, after LLM decides the tool, it requires some kind of a prompts to the LLM. Like if a question comes, there are some if we were asking about a supermarket, then we need to give a prompt to LLM to understand its tools, which API has which tools, and if which tool terminology decides the appropriate action. So here, after LLM decides a tool, this MCP client calls MCP server, and MCP server is responsible for calling REST API or GraphQL file system depending upon our configuration. So now we were anyhow discussing about a supermarket inventory. So for the question, what are the bottleneck items in the store currently? So LLM decided to call a tool, MCP client called MCP server, and MCP server calling REST API, and REST API gives data in a JSON format. And now Here we have a LLM that will understand the data and give a summary in a plain text. This is what uh, how an integration will work. So this is where MCP plays a major role in understanding. Similarly, now we discussed about a supermarket, but if we want to connect to any other file system, like I just wanted to know all the files, uh, and I understand about different format of files in my file system. uh, it can connect to the file system MCP server and get the data accordingly. This is how it explains self-explanatory thing, like so this MCP server is a wrapper by having multiple endpoints, multiple data sources, so that uh, it has a variety of functionalities, uh, not restricting to a single uh, REST API or GraphQL file system kind of stuff. Now, so here a prompt is a key role in acting or routing LLM to different tool. So this is where uh, it changes the entire life cycle of LLM. So if we don't give a right prompt, like based on the user question in to which tool it needs to connect, then it won't work. So here uh, you need to keep it in mind that MCP server is important, but routing LLM to the right tool with a right prompt is also an important thing. So this is my video, and in my next video I'll come up with MCP server and it connecting to web app. So we will demonstrate this complete architecture like a web app which can be integrated with MCP client, and we have MCP server with multiple data sources and actual data source uh, for this MCP server, or like REST API or GraphQL or file system. So I think uh, I don't want to drag it to waste anyone's time. So this is my first uh, video. So I'll try to bring more valuable content without any nonsense. And thanks for watching.